Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the east side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
John Gruden. It did appear, and I mentioned this on social media, Lubie, that he was having his emails ghostwritten by John Rocker, didn't it? Very parallel line of thinking, huh? Gays, no good. Black people, no good. Women, no good. It was ugly, right? I don't know. The only people he spared, really, I mean, it was like Moses came down from the mountaintop with the tablets there and said, please, spare the Jews.
To see what's going on in the NFL is as a result of Gruden, and then what's happening on the field. It's been remarkable, absolutely remarkable. But I think COVID has had such an impact all over on every sport in some form or fashion, and we're watching it play out now.
Everybody's mashugana. Use one of your favorite words there, Tony. Everybody's crazy. They don't know what to do. This Gruden thing is interesting on many fronts, and not the least of which, as Lubie and I were discussing, is he spared the Jews.
Yeah, he did.
Which I thought was very generous of him. We were that he didn't disparage in an email to the Washington football team. Now, I know
only you would come up with that. Only you. And here we have a very serious and people don't want to joke about situation, and you would come up with that.
What else can you say? John Gruden, no, I mean, at least this, right? At least he spared the Jews. At least he spared the Jews.
He did. He made you talk crap about everyone but the Jews.
He didn't say anything about Julian Edelman,
Oh, no.
which is good. Is Edelman Jewish? We don't even know.
He
if
is. He's
Jewish, but
born Jewish.
There were no
and-
disparaging remarks made about the Jews. Everybody else, it was open season. It really was. I mean, we talk about a harpoon. We have put forth to Roger Goodell, who's got a lot of issues that he's dealing with right now with Gruden and all the different things that he had to say. Although he did spare the Jews, we were happy about that, John.
Yes, yes.
As far as we know, we haven't seen. I spent most of last night, Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, reading through, I guess, the first 372,000 of those 650,000 emails, just to see if there was anything else there. Maybe somebody else, should be on the hook. But nonetheless, Gruden was the one that got all the attention. But are you in favor of the idea that the losing team in the Dolphins-Jaguars game, all right, here comes the joke. The losing team should forfeit their passports and not be allowed back in the country. This has happened in the past. There's a precedent there. There was talk that they might leave Joe Philbin there when the Dolphins got off to yet another poor start during his brilliant tenure here.
Well, here's the thing. I think they should take a page out of Ted Lasso, and the loser of this game gets relegated to the lower league, and actually make them start a British soccer team, and then maybe Brian Flores could be the next Ted Lasso.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
The great guitar styling of the brilliant Albert Castiglia. We were able to steal this music simply because Albert lost a bet. Yes.
We want that to be well known. This is not stealing.
Oh, we didn't poach this stuff? He gave us authorization to use this music. Very good. Thank you, Albert. Big part of the show. Albert Castiglia. Catch him locally around here, mostly at the Funky Biscuit. Dates to be announced. He was just there on Monday night, Albert Castiglia. We could have run down there with one of those pirate recording devices and somehow lifted enough music to get us through another show here today. Hey, good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us. Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. Thrilled to be with you. Also catch us later on 5 Reasons Sports Network. We mentioned that especially because Scoop Skolnick, who it's debatable whether in town here in South Florida, Ira Winderman has been covering the Heat since their inception for the Sun Sentinel. Scoop Skolnick was with all 3 local newspapers, the Miami Herald, the Palm Beach Post, and, of course, the Sun Sentinel as well. Was a contemporary of Ira Winderman, but really has zeroed in on the Miami Heat with his 5 Reasons Sports Network. So we'll get some insight into the Heat's opening game tonight through the eyes and the observations of the great Ethan Scoop Skolnick. So that should be a lot of fun. NBA was wild last night. They had a couple of openers, marquee matchups on Tuesday night. Last night, it got even more intense, and the game that stole the show was the Celtics and the New York Knicks. Went to double overtime. The Knicks won in front of a celebrity-laced crowd. Wow, just incredible how many people were there. Of course, Spike Lee was very prominent. He was dressed for the occasion, too. Lubie, did you catch any Spike Lee last night? Good morning, Mike Lubie Lubitz. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Good morning to you, sir. No, I did not catch anything of Spike Lee. What was he doing?
He wasn't wearing his usual Nick stuff. He was wearing some really spiffy outfit there. And, Spike Lee's good with the hats. Dustin Hoffman was on the scene. He was stunned.
Nice.
When the Celtics sent that game into overtime. I mean, he had a look on his face like he had just realized that he was about to get laid in The Graduate. I mean, it was horror if you've ever seen it. Petrified is the way I would describe it. But nonetheless, the Knicks went on in dramatic fashion to win that game in double OT. And you should have known that Julius Randle was going to be the star, because I was reading an article before the season got underway. It was a little season preview. And even the guys in the New York Post, they were asking in the category of what player might regress the most in 2021. And, of course, the Post, in their hometown. Talk about a rough press.
I love it.
In their hometown, they said it was going to be Julius Randle, who was an MVP candidate last year, had a breakthrough season, and all of a sudden they figured he was going to take a pratfall and go 5 steps backwards. Chris Paul was another guy who was mentioned in that category. Chris Paul, does he go backwards this year? He's only 70-something years old. He was great last year. Yeah,
I think he works with the Suns. Like, I think Paul is a misnomer. I think he could, quote unquote, take a step back because the Suns are getting older and better and still be great. He doesn't have to be the 1 or 2 in that team. Ayton took a big step in the playoffs, and you have your guy Booker, who we haven't talked about here yet, so I'm sure we'll now talk about that. So he can take a step back, quote unquote, and it work. Randall can't. And Randall, it's funny they say that because he was horrendous in the playoffs. It's just interesting the day they say it. Of course, he goes and plays tremendous, and the Knicks leads the Knicks to a double overtime victory.
Yeah, multiple Knicks with 30-plus points. They did think that R.J. Barrett might be a guy that takes a quantum leap forward this year, off the quantum leap forward that he took last year, but that's because he was very disappointing in his rookie season. See, if you set the bar low enough, Lubie, which is what we're trying to do here on the Ion channel, right? First show was second show seemed to be okay. Yesterday, I thought we were back on our game. Although we had Tony Segreto in the middle of the show trying to produce the show for us. What's up with Tony, man? His instincts in TV. Okay, Joe, yeah, make sure we have the clip there with the mayor, and then I want to cut right to the story about the dog. He was producing the show. He wants us to get Mary Hart. Now, if he had suggested Jim Rayhart, is Jim Rayhart still alive? No, I want to say he checked out.
I don't know.
The hard-hitting giant third baseman. Now, that might have made more sense. Some prominent journalist suggested to me that maybe Gary Hart would be a good guest on the show. What was really going on there, Gary, on the monkey business? Would that be our first question, or do we not have the guts to ask it and put it just like that? No, this is what we're all about, transparency here on the program. Anyway, Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubitz with you, Ion Channel, and various other platforms around the world. Really good to have you guys with us. So many things happening in the world of sport. It's a conundrum of phenomenons in the world of sport, with all the different sports on the professional level kind of blending together. And you had baseball again last night. I didn't even realize there were two games last night. I caught the end of the Red Sox game, and that didn't go well for the Red Sox. The people at Fenway, they were celebrating, though. I mean, anything to get on TV, is that the way it goes? I'm looking at the crowd behind A-Rod and that crew that they have there on Fox Sports 1 that analyzes the game afterwards. And you know what A-Rod's brilliant observation was for the rest of the series for the Red Sox?
Oh, God.
I'll give you one guess, Louie. Think of the most just
you need
absolutely...
to score runs to win games.
That was close. I mean, that was in the same ballpark, if you will. His observation about the Red Sox approach the rest of the way was now there were two games left possibly in the series if they can send it to a seventh game. And A-Rod's brilliant observation, he's getting paid zillions of dollars to do this.
Yes.
No wonder J-Lo dumped him. You think he rolled over in bed one night and said, you know what they have to do, J-Lo? They're going to have to take this one game at a time. Thank you, Ray. You know what? I never would have been able to figure that out. I was thinking they had to win them both in the next ball game. They just had to sweep a doubleheader inside the same game. Although, if it was possible, you would think that Major League Baseball, with Manfred Mann, the commissioner of the game, you would think they might even make a rule where it's possible to win two games at once, and therefore A-Rod's observation would not have been so suspect. But yeah, that was great. He turned to Big Papi and said, "You know what the Sox have to do, Papi? Take it one game at a time." All right, very good, A-Rod. Millions of dollars for that. Here we are. We're schlepping over a hot microphone for hours a day, trying to find our way here, searching for new venues, and lucky enough to come across the great Jack Marin, who. Yeah, I mean, still he's a little nervous about this, is he not? A little nervous about this.
Oh, yeah. But it's good. It's because he cares, and that's what I've learned over life.
I like that. Yeah, no,
it's
and
passion,
it's a team
fire,
thing,
and he wants to win, and that's what we want.
I keep telling him it's a team thing, and that what we need to do is zero in on this gambling money. Which, by the way, wow, I mean, has it been any better for the degenerate gambler out there of late? I mentioned point spreads and parlays at the top of the show. There was a reason for it, because we here, and you know our philosophy, we love the spread.
Yes.
And we love the smell of point spreads in the morning. And you have a game tonight in the NFL, the Browns and the Broncos, with Baker Mayfield out. Browns still favorite. What do you think about that, Mike Lubitz? Baker Mayfield out. He has torn labrum, he says, in his non-throwing shoulder. He was going to give it a go. Very brave, but then it turned out he had a commercial to shoot. And instead of taking the shot of cortisone he was going to need, he went ahead and made himself another $1 trillion selling plywood. Incredible. But the Broncos, they were thought to be like okay this year. I don't know. The Broncos don't really impress me too much. So Browns at home, laying 2 against the Broncos without Baker Mayfield. What do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot right away here to pick a game.
Make me Mark Lawrence, who you will hear tomorrow. here.
Yeah. But that's right. Degenerate Friday is going to feature our handicappers for those of you guys have been. I get a lot of questions about that. Hey, you got to bring those guys back. They were on fire before we got fired. Unbelievable.
We ruined
Before
it.
We got dumped by 940 wins and 1230 the zone. Those guys were like 32, I believe, and 14, something like that.
I have it somewhere. I'll pull it up. They were killing it.
It was like 30 and 12, something in that category. 18 games over 500. People would kill to find a radio show and now a television show that they could tune into and get guys who are picking games at that ratio.
Well, they don't have to kill. They just tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow. Yeah, Mark Lawrence, the ultimate trend handicapper. Going to be absolutely fantastic. And we'll also have the professor on college football. You did have a college football game last night. Another drops from the ranks of the unbeaten, Lubie.
Yes. Such a weird year.
Who would figure it was Coastal Carolina, though?
People forgot.
Go ahead.
People forgot they were still ranked because they had a great year last year, but they haven't done much this year. But somehow they hung on to the ranking until last night.
Coastal Carolina, you would think Cupcake City, no? I mean, not undefeated college football team. I remember many years ago, I was doing some shows with a gentleman named Billy Mims, who was the basketball coach at the time at Barry University here in town in South Florida. And went on to coach teams in London and became like a top. He is like the Dick Vitale. I wouldn't go Dick Vitale necessarily. I mean, who would you consider the top basketball analyst in the game today on any level? Is it Stan Van Gundy? Possibly. He was like the Stan Van Gundy. And why didn't the Pelicans like Van Gundy? I mean, he seems like a very likable guy, doesn't he, Lubie? Stan Van Gundy? I knew him when he was like a young pup, an assistant there with the Heat.
They liked it. They just weren't succeeding. It's Zion year 2. You have John Morant making the playoffs, and they couldn't even make the bubble thing. That was the problem with Stan Van. Stan Van's a great basketball mind. He just keeps getting put in these situations where he can't overcome youth.
All right. Well, this guy, Billy Mims, tells me many, many, many years ago that watch out for Coastal Carolina in basketball. And they became a little bit, I don't know that you would call them a basketball power, but they made very representative showings for a school that would be as obscure and hard to conjure as something that would be a force in college basketball. And then they became a football. How are they doing it at Coastal Carolina? Who's getting paid there under the table? To bring athletes to Coastal Carolina, where they're able to be prominent in both college basketball and college football as well, while the University of Miami is struggling, staggering around here, trying to figure out how to get themselves out of Manny Diaz's relatively fat contract. They're underdogs to North Carolina State at home. That's a disgrace, is it not? And of the handicappers that I looked at in the New York Post, quick glance, 5 out of 7 like to lay the points with North Carolina State in this game. This is the kind of game that your Florida State Seminoles, when they were in their heyday, used to lose. NC State. How many times did NC State shellac Florida State and derail any chance they had of Bobby Bowden winning another national championship? Well, they're a fine football team. You had to listen to that after the ball.
Funny, the Winky year, his first year when he was 26, he threw like 6 interceptions for NC State. You're not wrong. And then Phillip Rivers killed us. Phillip Rivers, every year he was there. So that's what you're thinking, and you're right. NC State did that. The problem is they're not they're ranked. Miami's the one that's 2-4, coming off back-to-back horrendous losses.
Such ugliness, yeah. It's never going to be the same. Trying to get that feeling again. That song always should ring in your head if you're a Hurricane fan and you're thinking that this is going to be a team that ascends to the level of prominence that it did when it dominated college football, or was a dominant force in college football for 20 years. Oh, we got to draw a fence here and establish the state of Miami. Okay, Howard. Well, I can hear him from the grave, man. I loved Howard, by the way. He was a fantastic, iconic force here. Anybody that's a visionary that sees things that others don't, you really have to have great respect for. So many things going on. The baseball games went this way. The Dodgers got crushed like a grape. Dave Roberts was speechless after the ball game, did not know what to say. As you had a bunch of schmenky relievers from the Atlanta Braves. Their starter had to scratch. They went to a bullpen game, which is going to be followed by another bullpen game. I mean, they don't have a starter. They're just bringing guys, nondescript guys that were middle relievers out of the bullpen, and they're starting ball games in the World Series, kind of a sign of the new era of baseball, and yet they completely shut down the Los Angeles Dodgers, who could not hit that left-hander. What is his name? Smiley? They couldn't hit his curveball. They couldn't touch him. It was disgusting. So they lose big, and now we're down 3-2 in a series as they will go back to Atlanta, I guess, for games 6 and 7. So that's going to be rough. No, they're down 3-1. They still have one more in L.A. And it's Boston that has to travel to Houston now after getting crushed in a ball game last night. And they trail in that series 3-2. So heading towards the World Series. The NFL, as we said, cranks up again tonight. And that's going to be a lot of fun. The Dolphins, though, making big news, Lubie. Is that real? Or, I mean, they've resurrected these ugly rumors
It's
again about
supposedly
Deshaun
false.
Watson.
I don't know. And it's, we talk about our other places. I believe Podcast Network is one of our homes. We're doing a special podcast, exclusive content there every day. And that's where you can hear the Defo Files. Those who were big fans of the Defo Files. Defo Files will be there. And Lubie's Law will be there. And that's what I talk about today.
And what are you saying?
Deshaun Watson is better or not. And yes, by all accounts, he's better than Tua. The quarterback's not the problem. Even if you can't stand Tua and he sucks, that's not the problem with the Dolphins. This is what the Dolphins have done time and time again throughout their history of the last 20 years. Let's go get a big name to fix things, and then it never fixes anything.
How's this guy going to fix things if he can't play? I mean,
play.
he still has. There's a parade of women that are accusing him of sexual assault and harassment. I guess it's assault, not even harassment, because this was physical stuff. And then he's got that guy that defended Roger Clemens in his congressional hearing, Rusty Hardin, who's gotten a lot of people off the hook that seem to be just laced with guilt. He used, I love the defense he used. It was right up there with Johnny Cochran. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. He used the old what woman defense, the what woman defense. When they asked Clemens, so what was this McNamee guy doing stabbing your wife in the rear end there in the ass with a syringe? And Hardin, woman? What woman? Right? Like when you get caught dead to rights in bed with another woman, wife comes home, she was unexpectedly cutting her trip short. I thought you were supposed to be in Cleveland till Wednesday, sweetheart. Right? So there you are, having sex with another woman, and she looks at you and just says, "Who's she?" And you say, "Woman, what woman?" and that was hard. That was Hard's explanation on the steroid use when McNamee's sitting there on the stand, and he did look a little weird, Brian McNamee, did he not? He looked like the kind of guy that could easily be a liar. But I don't think he was lying about this. Do you, Lubie? I mean, if ever a guy that seemed to be a bit of a slime ball was going to have credibility, it was in this particular case in front of Congress when he's saying, "Yeah, I was there. I was feeding this guy juice like no tomorrow. I had an IV drip going right into his arm while he was on the mound. What are you kidding me? Clemens was on the juice." And Hardin used the woman what woman defense, and it worked. So I don't know. I mean, if this guy can't play, what is the point? And think about it. They always talk about the Dolphins and the brilliant job they did accumulating so-called draft capital. That goes up in smoke. They're asking for 3 first-round and 2 second-round picks for a guy that you don't know. We know he can play if all things are on the usual plane. But with all of these accusations that are going against Deshaun Watson, who knows when he's going to get on the field? How could you possibly trade that amount of draft capital for a guy that you don't know if he's going to play? And then what does it say, Lubie, that this is even being considered, if that's true, about the Dolphins' opinion of your man, Tua Tagovailoa?
Well,
they're throwing in the towel. Year number 2, throwing in the towel halfway through year number 2.
Couple things. Supposedly and that's why it hasn't gotten done yet, but it's now being considered again. Supposedly the asking price, I don't know if it's come down or it's shifted. Now they just want, I guess there's a third team that's interested in Tua, so it would be Tua,
Tua and a bag of stone crabs. Yeah, they were
Tua,
worth about
Xavier
$800.
Howard, and then like Myles Gaskin or some other, like 3 players that are active players. Because again, the Dolphins don't want to give up draft picks. Look, we've talked about Chris Greer a lot. To me, yes, it says that they don't see the future for Tua, but they don't see the present for Tua. They're throwing a Hail Mary. Greer's out, and Flores may be out too. So these guys are like, look, maybe if we go and grab Deshaun Watson and he brings some success, we can save our jobs. And as you know in life, when you are desperate, especially when it comes to business, it usually works against you, not for you.
Oh, we're hoping this works for us. We're desperate.
Not desperate.
Seemed that way. My thanks to a guy named Ron and Brian Curry. Big fan of the show. Gentleman named Brian Curry. So I'm at this thing last night at the Capitol Grill in Boca Raton.
Nice.
Where we took a picture, posted it on social media. Brett Tesler of Tesler Sports Management has his own wine locker. Now, how big is that? What do they charge you for that? A wine locker at the Capitol Grill where you go and you tell, hey, Johnny, can you go get me a bottle of that Rumbauer? Yeah, no, the 1982. Right?
For him.
That's pretty spiffy stuff, right? Capitol Grill.
Yes.
$6 to Valley Park, and that's at the Town Center Mall where there's plenty of parking. But nonetheless, very, Very nice dinner, and it was just a great time. Big Gator fan, Brian Curry. But this was a financial group. They were just saying thanks. There was no sales pitch or anything going on there. And I poached in there, drafted in behind the apron strings of one Marty the Party Sachs, who
Nice.
also had a good time. And Marty doesn't hold back. He's got your philosophy. He ordered 2 filet mignons.
I've never done that.
2. One to eat there and 1 to go. That was great. Nice move. Well, these guys were financial wizards. And there was a guy walked in there named Stan Margulis, who, I mean, if a guy ever looked like money, it was this. Never mind, with apologies to Floyd Money Mayweather. This guy, Stan, at the minute he walked in, had the pink shirt on, which is not an easy thing to rock, with the blue jacket that looked like it was customized and was very expensive. And yes, it's made out of a rare lamb synthetic. It's like, what? But anyway, this guy, he looked like money. And it's funny, though, because I'm such a sucker that had this been one of those things where there was a sales pitch, I would have bought a timeshare. I really would have. You know, like,
when you told me that this morning, I believed you. I'm like, of course you did.
All right. In this spot in the future, from next Thursday on, we're going to be doing the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. A couple of gentlemen I've been working with every Saturday for the last 25 years are going to join us here on the program, and we're going to give you a little taste of what the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge is going to be all about. Now, I don't know if they've assembled questions for this. I would imagine Paulie Kan and Gurgles can each rattle off a fairly significant question that's symbolic and emblematic of the type of things you would have to come up with on a show on the fly. I'm going to put them on the spot here. But interesting gentlemen, and we always have a lot of fun doing some shtick for you before the show. So, and great sports insight also from both Paulie Kan, Paul Massell, and Dave Gurgley. So we'll talk with the Paulie Kan, Paul Massell, and Dave Gurgley, my partners on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, in separate segments coming up here on Ion Channel. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock. Scoop Skolnick in the 8 o'clock hour of the program on the Miami Heat's opener, and they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm Jeff DeForest. He's Mike Lubitz on Ion Channel, and we'll be back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 7:27.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half, Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time? When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Buy or lease a house and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
My point. The world, I mean, if my point was ever going to be embellished and going to be proven true, the world has gotten me sugar now.
Grab a bagel and a schmear, plus some Defo and Lubie. Welcome back to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show, Mona. Once again, everybody, great to have you with us here. Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. You want to see the video portion of the program, which is essentially us talking. And yet it's going to be spectacular in the long run. Mike Lubie's huge plans. Jack keeps talking about some of the things that are going to be happening here on the show. Very excited about the possibilities and very excited that we'll be cranking up again and resurrecting. And this is very much by popular demand, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And that's going to take place on the Thursday edition of the program. Used to be a Saturday staple, 8 to 10 Saturday morning. Wherever we went, wherever we were carpetbagging around, we were the Larry Brown of local radio. At least I was. Been on 8 stations here across 40 years. And most of those stations have carried as part of my deal, my so-called package, if you will, the idea that, hey, yeah, you can go ahead and do that show on Saturday morning, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now, we always thought that this thing was primed for syndication and worldwide acclaim and renown. The people would really enjoy the game. And we've never really had a shot at it as much as we've talked about it. But I don't know if I want to use the S word here in introducing this gentleman. But I'm thinking if anybody can do it, it's Jack and Ion Channel. And that would be syndication. Will be our vindication. We welcome to the show the Paulie Man, Paul Massell, big part of the program, co-creator of the show. And as you know, Paulie Man, and I hope you're having a good morning, desperation is the mother of invention, is it not?
That's for sure. Now in our 25th year, by the way.
25th year. It's amazing. And it was 25th year interruptus there when they pulled the plug on us on the radio station. But I knew we'd be back. And if anything, that this show was going to be our meal ticket. And we thank the people of Hialeah Park, the great Frank Fiore, for continuing to support the program. He's looking forward to having us out there at the Champion Simulcasting Room on Thursday. And it's an interesting story. Paulie, man, you were with me from the very beginning. We were trying to promote horse racing. I had negotiated a deal with WIOD where they gave me an hour of free airtime to do whatever I wanted with. And originally we were doing a horse racing show from 11 until 12 o'clock at night on Friday nights. Not exactly prime time, but back in the day, people listened to the radio 24 hours. Your overnight guy might have been your most popular guy in some radio situations going way back 25 years ago. So Paulie Man and I are doing a horse racing show. And we come around to Gulfstream Park, and there was different management then, different ownership, and it was a whole different situation. I don't want to say there were some incestual relationships going on there, but nonetheless, a lot of things were happening that were kind of funky on the financial end. It is a racetrack after all, and back in the day type of racetrack. But they had a new marketing director, and Paulie Man and I go, and everybody else was in. Kenny No over at Calder was great. John Brunetti over at Hialeah, always, quick thumbs up, always quick to support anything we were doing. And this marketing director we had to deal with was a guy named David Rovine. Paulie Man, I'll let you pick up the story because I remember you were at that meeting and you were as horrified as I was when he told us what.
Well, we pitched him, of course, horse racing, and since they were horse racing, and then the championship meet was the meet. That was it. The winter racing at Gulfstream, it wasn't year round, and we pitched him the horse racing show, and he said, "Sorry, but we're going in a different direction. I'm heading in the direction of petting zoos and flying Elvises." Yep.
That'll send them flocking to bet the ponies. That's for sure. Yeah. First thing I think of when I go to the track is get a racing farm and head for the petting zoo.
Oh my God.
Well, seeing a flying Elvis land in the winner's circle after the third race. I mean, what else? What is racing all about?
And whatever became of that guy? You followed his path afterwards because he quickly was out of that position, although we were already out of luck there with the job. And that was the reason that we had to go ourselves in another direction and say, well, geez, if the big horse track that's operating the winter dates won't support a horse racing show, why the hell are we doing this? I mean, we have no shot here. It's over for us. But and we decided to come up with what at the time was the Sony Sports Showdown, now known as the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. But that was great. What happened to Rovine, though?
He hung around for a while. He maneuvered and had some kind of slick moves, self-preservation moves, and then they finally farmed him out. And as of a few years ago, he was doing summer stock somewhere in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's the truth.
I think
Yeah,
it'll make it less funny.
I think he was playing Macbeth. Yeah, he was playing Macbeth last time. 2 summers ago or something.
Not that we wished him any ill will, because he stiffed us and, forced us to go in what turned out to be a very positive direction. We still get to talk all we want about horse racing, and the Trivia Challenge was a brilliant creation. Now, what would you say, among your favorite experiences on the Trivia Challenge, I guess, and now that we're in this new platform here where it's a little bit more liberal in terms of what you can and can't say,
Yeah.
My favorite incident still remains, Paulie, man, and maybe with you, lifetime. And we've had many, many different things happen. In that time you got stopped at the DUI stop and they found all those 1960 racing forms in your trunk. I thought you were some kind of Russian spy.
What gun? Yeah, remember here I came in and you had an all-day affair. You hosted some big golf tournament. You were a host from a golf cart, and I just wanted to warn you, because you might have had a couple of drinks that day.
Yes.
And I just warned everyone, be careful. There's a stop right outside there. They're stopping every other car or something. So leaving, of all people, who do they stop? They stopped me.
Of course.
They stopped me, and the famous words by the officer was, "You got any guns in the car?" What are you talking about? Guns? I got no guns. So, like you said, they made me open up the trunk looking for like AK-47s or something. And what did they find? But old racing forms. I mean, old one. Kelso wins the Jockey Cup, like those kind of things. And what's the funny thing is, you can remember. You flew by me then and gave me the wave.
Yeah.
I think you had like a martini glass or something. You toasted me going by. Yeah, that was something. The big auto stop. Another one that just quickly that I was reminded of. We had an early champion in the early days before Lenny the Chronic and Jerry the Driver. Remember
Yes.
Man Mountain Saul or something? And we one of the questions that I made up was a true false, that on the last episode of Seinfeld, that George Steinbrenner was actually going to play himself instead of the character from behind that they had for years on there. And he said, true. And of course I made up, I said false. And when we had one of the Tournament of Champions, he came flying with a TV guide and showed me that it was actually true, that Steinbrenner was going to play the so he was right. And I just saw some wild man that looked like a professional wrestler coming at me with a TV guide. Another thing, it doesn't happen every day of the week.
Always good stuff. Yeah, I think Man Mountain Saul also was the guy who won my tickets to see McGuire crank number 55 or whatever it was that year as he was making the assault on the all-time home run record. As I thought I was giving tickets away to a meaningless end of the season Marlins-Cardinals game, and it turned out to be an epic with the tickets in high demand. I want to say, as painful as it was to remember that Man Mountain Saul told me that he got $300 a pop for the 2 tickets. I should have given him tickets to see the Pirates. I knew it, but yeah, he always got over on us one way or another. But of course, the incident of incidents, Paulie, man, and this was the all-time classic. We're at Shula's Stake 2. Dave Gergely, of course, was hosting events there, and he was hosting the show with us. And they had built for Mad Dog Mandich a small radio booth, a glass enclosed radio booth that looked out into the restaurant. And we had received word that there was a possibility that we could have the porn star Houston as a guest on the show. And we thought, what better on a Saturday morning than to feed the kids a porn star here on local terrestrial radio. And so she comes into the booth, says hello, and I mean, reeked of alcohol. I nearly passed out just from having her come into this booth, which was more like an incubator than, the usual depiction you would have of a radio booth. And she comes in, nearly knocks us all out with her breath. And then while you were asking a question, Paulie Man, I don't know that I've ever seen you turn the so-called whiter shade of pale.
Well, I was, like you said, as I was asking a question, and I still remember, I don't know the question, but the answer was it A, Derek Jeter, B, Carl, Yastrzemski, and Yastrzemski, in the words of Howard Stern, she grabbed my private parts, and
grabbed you right by the balls. It was hysterical, and would not let go. I mean, latched on there like some crab had got you in a vice.
I was funnier before that, if you remember. She flashed. She was topless, of course. She flashed all the older men that were having breakfast there. And Dave, of course, Dave was the boss. Our third partner, Dave Gergely, was the boss of Shula. And talk about turning a whiter shade of pale. Poor Dave got so worried. But then the old timers all stood up and gave her a standing ovation.
Two guys from Iowa, two farmers who came in to play golf, and they were ready to pass out. Their wives were horrified. They may have been digging it, but you went on to have sex with like 500 guys and break the Guinness record for consecutive sexual encounters.
Yeah, she was being pushed at the time. What made her famous was Howard Stern. Yep. She was always on the Howard Stern show in its prime then, of course. And she was one of the first ones. It's been broken, I don't know how many times over, but she set the world's record for continuous sexual tribulations with man after man after man after man. Like I think then it was 500 and something, as you said.
Possibly rivaled only by the hysterics and histrionics of Harvey Fialkoff, who was a frequent guest on the program. I don't know that there's a bigger Yankee fan out there than you, the Paulie Man, Paul Masell, but you're a sane Yankee fan. You're not necessarily going to be calling for the head of Aaron Boone after every pitching change, but what did you think about this maneuver here with Cashman? And is it time to, as they say in this business, move in another direction?
Yeah, everybody was hoping. I think Yankee fans were hoping. I had actually said, remember when Aaron Boone was an announcer, I had said, this guy would make a good manager. I wonder if the Yankees are going to pluck him. And, at 1,000,001, they do. But he definitely knows the game and he knows things. But his gut instincts always seem to be wrong, He zigs when he's supposed to zag and just the opposite. He zags when he's supposed to zig. So I wish they would have, went on with it and someone else. But I guess not. He's coming back again. So we'll see. That division, as tough as it is going to get tougher because sitting in the shadows, you see the Red Sox again, and of course, but the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be super, super tough in the years to come.
The Paulie Man, Paul Masell, you'll catch him every Thursday here from 7 to 9. We'll have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a question, any kind of sample question, so the people that are the uninitiated out there that are just picking us up for the first time here on Ion Channel and our various other platforms might have some idea what they need to contend with.
I really don't.
What they need to contend with when they join us next Thursday.
Well, I think what made the show, well, in our estimation, a lot of people's estimation, great, that the questions are super hard. The true or false, we make questions up that you can't tell, but then it's always based on, it's always based on then a tremendously hard question, which is multiple choice, A, B, C, or D. So that's always been the basis of the, maybe the 5-pointer is a little harder than the 3-pointer, but I think the success of the show, the game part of it, has been how difficult our questions have been.
And they're unusual, right? I mean, it's not like you can simply Google these things. You have to be very careful today.
No, that's for sure.
And every now and then we can tell that there's a tag team in action trying to win the prize, even if it's a coupon for an expired coupon for a frozen pie. The people are desperate to win this stuff. It shows you how competitive our natures are. But you'll hear the guy in the back, D, Louis, D. He's pounding away on a high-speed computer. Paulie, man, we'll catch you next Thursday here on the program. Get ready, put some makeup on, because we're going to be on the tube as well on Ion Channel. This Jack Marin doesn't fool around, and doing a great job. So Jack Namer, or what do I say, Jack Marin? I'm thinking of a basketball player all the time. Jack Namer. I purposely get his name wrong because I think he's sensitive to it, and leave it to me right away to rile up management. We're only 4 days into the job. No, Jack Namer doing a great job, and we're going to have some engineering out there and technology in place so that we can get everybody on from the Champion Simulcasting Room, and we'll look forward to it. Paulie, man, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, thanks. Great hearing from you guys. Glad you're back in action again, Defo.
Love you, Paul.
Right, very good. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back in action also. I don't know what kind of action. Could be heading for a jackpot here if I continue to perform in this fashion. All right, Dave Gurgely is our other partner on the show. He's going to join us next. Gurgle's a very unique personality and just a wild individual to deal with. Known him for a long time, 25 years on the show. So we'll hear from the other component for next week's Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and a great guy, and inclined to some very interesting shtick. Would you say, Lubie?
Gurgles is
great. Got the jokes. He's more the Henny Youngman of the show. He's got those one-liner jokes, a little Jackie Mason inside him too. So Dave Gergely going to join us next. Scoop Skolnick on the Miami Heat. Their opener against the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow, they're putting some marquee matchups out there right away, huh?
Yes,
Adam
sir.
Silver knows how to cash in on that television contract. Back with more in a moment here on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. You can find us there. I'm Jeff DeForest. He is Mike Lubie Lubitz on this fine Thursday. Returning in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 7:47. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keeled Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood and a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Hire Lisa Taus and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Robert Klein, a pleasure. Huge fans and been bombarded with messages and texts attesting to your brilliance and how much they have enjoyed your work over the years and still outstanding. Thanks so much. I don't know if you have 1 second real quick.
Yeah.
The Bronx Olympics would look like what? I called a friend of mine and I asked him if he was watching the fencing and he said he thought that involved moving stolen merchandise. But the Bronx Olympics, so what would be the #1 event?
The #1 event would be the shout. Who could shout, yo, hey, yo?
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on The Defo Show.
Music by Albert Castillo. I'm Jeff DeForest. He is Mike Lubie Lubitz.
Thank God.
Yes, we're on the Ion channel, ionchannel.com. You want to see our ugly faces? Although Jack sends me a message, says we're both looking good today.
Thanks, Jack. Good morning, sir.
Jack Namer. Yeah, no, that's good. It's always good. I mean, feed the talent positive vibes, right? So we had that discussion with Jimmy Johnson where he said, you have to treat everybody differently. We're hypersensitive here. We don't want to hear any criticism. We don't want to hear that, hey, you know what, your show sucks. Although you're bound to hear it, no matter how good or bad the quality of the program is. Now, one show that we never hear anything disparaging about is the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We were talking about that. And we, because we're in our first week, we didn't really know if we had all of the wherewithal to go ahead and get the full-blown production down there at the Champion Simulcasting Room. And Frank Fiore's all in. And the people at Hialeah Park, the Brunettis have supported me since I first stepped on South Florida soil. It's incredible. Been sponsors of mine on various media enterprises and things that we were doing on track. Always backed any of my projects. I couldn't appreciate and applaud their support anymore. And very grateful for that. So we'll be real happy to be returning to Champion Simulcasting Room. There's going to be some big news out there at Hialeah Park as well. And I know a gentleman who enjoys his visits to Hialeah Park. They're now going to be on Thursdays from 7 to 9 for the Trivia Challenge. And it was interesting how this came about. We started the show with another friend of mine many, many years ago. And we were on, at that time, I believe, once again, from 11 p.m. until 12. 11 p.m. until 12 on Friday nights with the Trivia Challenge. And we had a partner in there, and for some reason, he turned on us. He went Sorvino and looked at us and said, "No, I got to turn my back on you," and walked out. And then we tried any number of other people, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. You know how auditions go sometimes, Lubie? And right away, this ain't happening. And then we thought, well, who's really great at this? And we knew this gentleman because he was hosting various trivia enterprises and competitions at Shula State 2 and did a brilliant job. Nice. And so we had him on the show, and 25 years later, we're still doing it. And it's always great to get together with the great Dave Gurgley, our third member of the team there on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Gurgles, how are you, my friend?
We're getting the band back together. I love it.
And it will be great. And now on TV, and you know how sensitive the Paulie Man is to any kind of, it's one thing with the microphone placement, but now that he has to worry about his hair and various other physical aspects of this thing, it might take us a while to line up and set up. It could get very strange. You're very calm about this stuff, and I try to be, but it's going to be kind of funny to see the Paulie Man getting ready for his first on-camera appearance next Thursday.
Well, I talked to Paulie, and he said confidentially that since you've gotten in such great shape, you advocated going to the video. So compared to me and Paulie, you would look even better.
You guys look great. What are you talking about? It's fantastic. We were talking about that time. How horrified were you? And now you had already been entrenched at Shula Steak too, and with the Graham family there for many, many years. When that incident happened with Houston and the Paulie Man, when this woman who was about to set the world record for having consecutive sexual encounters, and I think I guess we can say this, right? No, she had sex with 500 guys. I'm going to avoid saying she, bleeped 500 guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And anyway, because it's kind of, I mean, that's got to be rough, no? I mean, you talk about a tough workout in gym class. I mean, that's some physical pain that you're going to experience.
Yeah. I mean, at that point in time, I was at Shula's probably, I don't know, 20, 25 years or so. I'm in my 40th year there now, and all I could see in the radio booth and our hotel right there was this young lady coming on, and my career going exactly right down the drain.
I think Shula himself came out and said, "What is this woman doing?" But she exposed her breasts to those two farmers from Iowa. Paulie Man was alluding to the fact that he thought you were going to pass out.
They were two guys, I think, that were in the Silver Sneaker Seniors program across the street at the gym. And they skipped their cardio class that day because their bloodstream was elevated enough. So
lawsuits were flying. I mean, Lipschitz even showed up to see if he could bag a personal injury client after what was going on there in the booth that day. All right, Gurgles, I mean, we talked about the uniqueness of the program, and you're great. You and Paulie Man really do all of the heavy lifting on the show while I try to sweep off all of the cash. But the questions are really what makes this thing. I mean, we do some shtick at the beginning, which a lot of people like. Once deemed by Barry Jackson, the fine Miami Herald media critic, as the funniest 15 minutes of radio in South Florida. And what was that? That was 25 years ago. He never mentioned us again.
Yeah, that's the last we ever heard of. You know,
I guess we weren't that funny anymore.
Today, in honor of restarting the show, I got one today.
Nice.
And I know the lovely and talented Leslie, is she with you on Mondays now?
She was our first inaugural guest. I mean, who else could we go to there? Plus everybody else that turned us down. It was like the Mets president's job.
We want to know which. Gotcha. We want to know, since the Red Sox are still in it, we want to know which Red Sox player holds the major league record for the most unassisted double plays as an outfielder.
Okay.
Unassisted double plays as an outfielder. All right, what are the choices?
Outfielder. How about that one? It's
right.
Jim Rice, Carl Yastrzemski, Don Baylor, or Tris Speaker.
I'm going to go Tris Speaker, old school, because this sounds like something that had to happen in the distant past.
Yeah, he played short center field. He'd catch the ball and run in and tag second.
I got it.
Bingo. You
Can
got
I
it.
get the landlubber's gift certificate, or did Supreme decide he's not on board anymore?
I don't know what we're
Well,
doing.
you'd have to call Lenny. He's got them all.
Is that your favorite thing, stumping Lenny the Chronic on a true-false question?
Well, I think Paulie does that. Paulie true false is probably 81-1 against Lenny, and I just delight in that. You know.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to next Thursday. Bring a hairbrush, and you don't have to worry about how you smell, which is good. But no, you're always great. Very well groomed and dapper, especially with regard to your
Hialeah next Thursday.
At Hialeah. I mean, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Everything works out, and we'll be there. Yes, beginning of a new era.
To make sure I'll get there at 6 to make sure I can get the security guy to open the door.
That's positive.
Yeah. It's like K-Pasa USA, when you go running down.
Yeah.
Huh? What? Open what door? Oh, you guys with the show. Yeah. It's great. Frank Fiore's on top of it.
On the Ion channel, and I think we landed at a really good spot. They sound like terrific people.
I believe this is going to be their big hit, their first big hit coming out of the show, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. David, we love you. Can't wait till next week, and thanks so much for being with us here to help us promote the thing.
All right. Best to you and Mike. Thanks.
Love you, Gergs.
Very good. All right. We're getting into some, Lubie loves this, some hardcore sports coming up in the second hour of the program. Scoop Skolnick, always great. Brilliant on the Miami Heat. You hold out wild optimism for this year's Miami Heat team, do you not, Mike Lubie Lubitz? There would be reason to believe that they would be better. And do you think that Tyler Hero has gotten over that syndrome of women weaken legs?
It feels
seemed
like
the hot girlfriend might have had something to do with his poor performance last year. No,
what we've seen in
he
the
might have been performing somewhere
so far. He seems a lot more aggressive. He's a little bit stronger, and he seems more humbled, which, like you just said, he needed. And the addition of Kyle Lowry. Look, we love Dragic. He was a great scorer, but he wasn't the best facilitator. Kyle Lowry is that guy, and he's much better defensively, and he is leader, championship guy the last few years. So he was an addition. Plus, as we've joked about in shows past, the addition of PJ Tucker and Morris, they're now one of the tougher teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's an upgrade. And I think the East is wide open outside of the Bucks, who started really strong. I think the Heat have as good a roster as anyone in the Eastern Conference.
They check these players for foreign objects in their trunks before they take the court. It's great. Pat Riley, man, going back to some old school stuff. Let's just beat the living daylights out of these guys. So they get it underway tonight against the Bucks, who were very impressive in their win over the Nets. It was a hard-fought ball game that opening night. And, you respect a team that's able to have a championship and then take the offseason. They made some transition themselves, losing some key players. And then they picked up that schmink, Grayson Allen. The Duke player who was he the most despised college basketball player in some time? Grayson Allen. Everybody hated that
since
kid.
Redick, it was Leitner, then Redick, then him. Yeah.
I like J.J. Redick as a ball player, though.
I like him. People hated him.
Much more consistent three-point shooter than people give him credit for, and made a lot of big shots. He was like big shot Bob Ari. All right, coming back, Scoop Skolnick will have the entire scoop on that. Heat and the Bucks tonight, opening up the Miami Heat's NBA season. Great games in the NBA last night, including the Knicks and the Celtics. Double OT, multiple guys with 30 points for the Knicks for the first time in their history, as the Knicks prevailed in the end game. I believe they won that game by 3 points and get off to a decent start there, although not exactly Tom Thibodeau defense, huh? The underplayers were crushed like a grape in that ball game, thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to be hard fought, a lot of bricks. I think it was like 138, 135 or something. Of course, double OT is always prohibitive for those who have the under. When do you take the cyanide tab when you see the game overtime?
Immediately.
It was like a last-second three by the Celtics that sent it into overtime. Particularly disgusting for the Garden crowd there, which was ready to erupt with jubilation when the Knicks finally won. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. I'm Jeff DeForest. He is Mike Lubie. It's Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. You want to watch the video of the show, that's up there all the time. So I guess, the people that are listening obviously have found us. So what is the value here of promoting the show inside the show? We got to just keep pumping this thing. Yeah.
That we're here and promote all the other things, because I think if people find us everywhere, it makes everyone better.
Then they'll start streaming over here to Ion Channel, where our primary feed is. Yeah, oh, that's great. All right, Scoop Skolnick, 5 Reasons. We also air on that, and we have some separate content on the Believe Podcast Network, After Hours, where Lubie took top billing on the show. It's now the Lubie and Defo Show. Back with more in a moment on that.
It's not true.
The time.
You have a way of worming your way into things, man. It's I respect that. I do. It's 8:02. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come. The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park, the only place for live racing. Gulfstream's action has never been hotter, whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You could get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the butcher shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal Volkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
You know what I'm gonna do? Because you don't ever give me a face shake. You know that? So I'm gonna let you talk to Victor Ortiz, all right? I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a face shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know about boxing. You ain't you got
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Two fighters at a crossroads. That was his intro to virtually every one of those soliloquies that he did by the ring there. And I can't knock Larry Merchant anymore for some of those gaps in his thought process while he was standing ringside with Jim Lampley, and Lampley's sitting there, come on, spit it out already, Larry. Give us something. But he would start everything, and I guess it gave him time to think of what the rest of this spiel was going to be all about when he would start out by saying, two fighters at a crossroads. That was Merchant, of course, getting undressed by Floyd Money Mayweather after a fight. I thought it was, a bit over the top there. Not exactly my favorite in terms of persona, Floyd Money Mayweather, but you could not doubt his ability to, A, never get hit, and B, win every match. Only a couple of suspect decisions in the history of Floyd Money Mayweather. I had the pleasure of calling one of Mayweather's fights when he was really, really good, and that's when he was fighting at like $130. And he fought at the local casino here, the Miccosukee Indian Gaming Facility, and he fought a guy that was up and coming on ESPN. Everybody thought Angel Manfredi was going to beat Floyd Money Mayweather, who was a relative unknown at the time. And I remember the great Eddie Kaplan, of course, until the last West Coast score was in, one of the great sports talk shows down here in South Florida on WQAM. Overnights, there you go. Once again, Lubie, overnights was prominent in local radio. Everybody knew Eddie Kaplan. Now, when was he on? He was on till like 4 in the freaking morning. What has happened in this industry now? Just insane, right? You don't even know. I mean, how many people can name who's on the air in the morning anymore? We're not. Brady Quinn, you think people are running around town going, oh, boy, man, I heard Brady Quinn today.
Quinn man.
It really was sensational. The Quinn man cometh, taketh our jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have no bitterness about that because you guys are going to find us here on Ion Channel and ionchannel.com. And I have to tell you, this whole new thing is, is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Now, we have a lot of people to thank for that, including our man, Jack Namer, and the Ion Channel people. Great crew he has there, too. Lubie, have you noticed that? They're very dedicated crew.
Yes, they're on it. Brad, the Dougs, Amy, everyone does a great job over there. Really appreciate their help.
And all the people that are going to continue to support us, including the people at Hialeah Park. We'll have the trivia challenge there next Thursday. Destination Sport Miami. This is going to be the ultimate indoor facility, I think, anywhere in the world when it comes to elite sports training. And also, I mean, with an eye on developing talent as well. So they have every base covered over there at Destination Sport Miami. You can check that out online. Gulfstream Park, Deal Volkswagen. Couldn't be here without Deal Volkswagen and her team. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104 in the Keys. Now, that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if Jack's going to dedicate one of his trucks to come down there and produce that thing, man, because that's going to be a wild shindig. And if we can get Jimmy to sign something, maybe one of those things where we have him sign an autograph for us, but pressed underneath it is a carbon copy where he signs away the rights to whatever he does on the show. And we make no, we're not that devious like that. Scoop Skolnick on baskets coming up later on in this hour. That's going to be fun. Scoop is great, always brilliant, and he has the 5 Reasons Sports Network, where you can also catch a replay of the show. Very interesting developments. See, this is one of those weird things about this business now, is you talk about stories that aren't really stories, and you're ready to blow your brains out trying to go through every piece of analysis that there is and analyze these events from all different angles. And then it turns out to be much ado about nothing, the old Shakespearean thing. Yeah. And that's where we were at with this whole Deshaun Watson story before. And this is how disturbing it gets. Because I start getting texts from good friends of ours who have caught the program already. That's dedication. Chris Kurtz, thank you very much.
Nice. Thanks for joining us.
He sends us a text, sends me a text anyway, right away, and says, well, Watson to the Dolphins. Now, you're in total denial about this, Mike Lubie. This is the last thing on earth that you would like to see happen. Although, I mean, you would have to think that Deshaun Watson, if allowed to play by the National Football League and if cleared of whatever these, I don't know, are there criminal charges against him yet, or is it all just of a civil variety?
There's some criminal stuff lingering, but the stuff that's coming to the forefront's all civil, and yet he's not playing, right? Like, there's been no actual charges put against him, but he's still not playing. Like, doesn't that say it all? That's one. Two, if you've watched the Dolphins at all this year, quarterback's one of their last issues. Their offensive line's dreadful. Their defensive line doesn't get any pass rush. Their secondary is supposed to be a strong point. And Xavier Howard's not been the same guy. And then the rest of the guys out there have not been good. And the receiving core was supposed to be a strong suit, and everyone's hurt. Like, fine, Watson, go get Watson. What is he going to do? Like, I don't. He's
going to scramble. He's going to look like Frank Tarkenton out there.
Exactly. Like, I don't get it.
There he is. He's back 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He runs to his left now, reverses field, does a 360, and he's going to throw the ball now. Oh no, it's picked off by. It's Ben Gazzara time here. I mean, it's cliche now to say that, which is kind of funny because originally when it was said, it was probably a pretty good joke, right? Yep. Ben Gazzara time. You're running for your life behind this Dolphins offensive line. Very interesting. I mean, does that not reek of a panic move on the part of the Miami Dolphins?
Yes.
A panic 100%. Move. You don't know what this guy's status is. You don't know what his future is going to be. Although we've seen this pattern before where like 37 accusers come out and say, yeah, it was him. He was groping me, and not to diminish that or, in any way minimize, how hard that must be for people to experience if it actually happened. And I have no idea. I mean, I would not know if Deshaun Watson was guilty of any of these indiscretions or not, if you want to even marginalize it to the point of calling that an indiscretion. But we've seen many women line up in testimony, in unified testimony against somebody before. And then what happened? Nothing happens. It goes away, right? It happened with old Donnie Trump. What happened to all of those women? Where's Gloria Allred? Yeah. Did they just disappear? And how many others have had these kind of assertions made against them? And then for whatever reason, the women just, were they all just spirited away? Well, what's the deal with that, Mike Lubie? I don't know what to make of this, and I'm not sure how serious or how illegitimate any of these claims are. And I don't think anybody knows that yet. So if that, turned out to be the case where, you're seeing like 20 women line up against somebody and you're thinking, okay, the guy's guilty of sin. And you come to, that premature evaluation. And then, it stops. Now, if he's cleared of all of this stuff and it all blows overhead and it turns out he didn't do anything and is found to be not responsible for any of these egregious acts, would you want him on your team? Over Tua Tagovailoa? Of course. I think, that's an automatic yes. And yet the question is at what price? So if it's a marginal price where you're just trading Tua and a 6th-round pick, I mean, of course you're going to do that. But is Houston about to do that? What point would it be for them to carry him on his roster when he's already said, I have no plans of ever playing here again, and they obviously have no plans of playing him again either?
Well, and because of the roster they have, they, not only with his issues off the field, but they don't want him to lose trade value. So they purposely not played him for both the issues he has off the field, and his value is still high. The last we saw him, he had his best statistical year with a horrendous team. So it's like you can pitch to anyone. Look, if you have any talent, this guy is going to be a beast. So they're not playing him. So that's my thing is if you're the Dolphins, do you play him? Is there a deal with the NFL? Like we've heard nothing about Deshaun Watson except for the fact that the case won't be tried or won't come to court until like February. So this is going to linger the entire year. So if you're the Dolphins, you're 1-5. Tua has been fine when he's out there. It's not him. The rest of your team sucks. To go and get Deshaun Watson does what for you? I get it. It's a Hail Mary by Chris Greer and Brian Flores. Okay, we've seen Hail Marys. What is the percentage of them succeeding?
How deep into the sand is Stephen Ross's head? Is it still there?
Like, where's he?
He did seem to be pretty clueless, and a good owner. I mean, I don't mind having Stephen Ross as the owner of a football team that I'm a fan of.
He tries.
He wants to do the right thing, but he must get the most horrid advice in the history of the world. And it's true. They should have hired Sarah Huckabee Sanders, to be their PR spokesperson, because she could have hominid her way out of all of these hideous situations, including now trying to dodge questions about, hey, can you possibly go ahead and make a deal like that and trade everything that you supposedly accumulated that was going to turn the franchise's fortunes around and then just sell it out for this guy who was groping virtually every woman that he came in contact with. And, the curious aspect of that story is he had more massage therapists around the country than Bob Kraft. He did.
He did.
That's 45 different women he was going to.
Well, that's
Did you rub the shoulder a little bit? Yeah. I mean, I guess he had specialists in every category. Anyway, bizarre story, and it surfaced again. And so I don't know. Do we feel compelled to talk about it? It's kind of interesting. And it's also, you're seeing an evolution of this story with the Washington football team as well. As now a cheerleader, Melanie Coburn, is saying that it was Bozzini all along. That Dan Snyder is the guy who's leaking his stuff out there so as not to make himself look bad and kind of distance himself from all of the crap that was going on there, which you would have to think that he was very much aware of and very much responsible for, and put everything on Bruce Allen, and he's already buried John Gruden in the process. That this was Dan Snyder that's putting all of this, leaked information out there about how hideous the philosophies and the approach was of various people in the Washington Redskins at the time organization. And, of course, John Gruden buried because he didn't take the job, and he ended up hiring Jay.
Exactly. That's what I find so funny is even when we talk with Feinstein, and you can check that out. We do have exclusive content each and every day on Believe Podcast Network. Just search After
That
Hours.
Feinstein thing was good. We ought to play a couple of clips of that here.
Yeah, I'll cut it up. We'll do some stuff. But what I find interesting is everyone's been in lockstep saying this was Washington football or Daniel Snyder trying to, pivot people's minds. What I don't get is if this came from 600,000 emails and they're saying it's even worse, then why wouldn't that mean it's only the beginning? Like, I don't understand. Snyder's that powerful that this can come out and it's just the tip of the iceberg and nothing else can come out. Like, I don't understand how mafia locked in he is that his stuff never comes out. He never gets in trouble ever.
Once again, it comes down to the female wrestler, the greatest of all time, the fabulous Moolah, my friend. That's what it's all about. I mean, how much grease you think Goodell is getting from Dan Snyder to just keep a lid on this thing? He had that guy Pash looking into it, which really is, kind of like having Jose Suleiman conduct an investigation into the decision on a title fight when he assigned all of the referees. I mean, come on. All of the judges.
Exactly.
It's crazy, right? It's like some of these in-house Trump investigations. Not the ones that are going on now. That's kind of serious, man. Guys are scrambling too, huh? You talk about running for the hills. That they are scrambling, much like the Trump sycophants, to try and figure out a way to unload this Deshaun Watson there in Houston. Those guys trying to dodge subpoenas. All right, we're on ION channel, and we're going to be with you until 9 o'clock. Scoop Skolnick going to join us here in just a few moments on the show. That's happening around 8:30 on the program. You're going to love Scoop if you're not familiar with his work, and you're listening in another country, wherever you happen to be, and you're thinking, who is Scoop Skolnick? Ethan Scoop Skolnick, of course, longtime sports writer here, and now the CEO of 5 Reasons Sports Network. But he really zeroes in, Lubie. I mean, he hovers over the Heat like he was a bowl of chicken soup. Does he not? Hovers over the Heat. The Miami Heat I'm talking about. They're in action tonight. Yeah. He is very Heat-centric. Although would have an opinion on the Deshaun Watson thing as well. But that's all of local interest here. Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks tonight to open up the season. PJ Tucker Wow. That guy, I mean, he just looks tough. He looks like the last guy you want to say, I got Defo. Like, really? You're
No,
gonna
no.
be in my fucking shorts all night? I mean,
Exactly.
I don't want this. Yeah.
No.
Why don't you just go away?
Please.
I mean, my first move was to go man to man and take the softest guy I could possibly find to defend me.
Yep.
I got Cliff over here. Yeah, exactly.
They're like, he's not even on the court. They're like, exactly.
He's got high top white Converse All Stars on, even though they were long since out of style. Although he came back into style, that's a great thing.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about a sneaker that has a shelf life that's going to go on forever. Everybody's wearing them now, including Albert Castillo. Wears a pair of. He looks like Bailey Howell. Wears some high top Cons, black high top Cons. All right, we're coming back with more here on Ion Channel. Great to be with you, Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. Next Thursday, we're going to go venture out to Hialeah Park. Crossing my fingers, hoping everything goes well there.
I'm stressing out. Thank you.
We'll open the camera out wide, and you'll see the Paulie Man, Paul Massell, and Dave Gurgley on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I think we have like one phone line, Lubie, so that's going to be a little bit awkward.
I've already worked it out in my head. I think we'll be able to make it happen. And I do want to thank you to everyone and Albert Castillo, so that we don't have any issues with anyone, legalities. You will hear a
Hold
lot.
up that piece of paper for the camera there, Lubie, that Albert signed. Hey, can you do that? Just there it is. Yeah.
Text. I have a text. Albert, I'm sorry. I have your text. That's written word to me.
That can get you in trouble also. Yeah. So that'll get us off the hook in this case. All right. Coming back with more in a moment on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. You want to see the video? Returning in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:21. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not. Because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread. Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West Side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the East Side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Let's hope we're dead wrong about a lot of things. That could be another book that we put out. Let's hope we're dead wrong about a lot of things. The end is near. You can tell the end is near, man. You could definitely do that.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Morning once again, everybody. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz with you. Ion Channel, ionchannel.com if you want to see the video on the program, which will continue to get better and better. And that will be fun going out there next week. Hialeah Park, Champion Simulcasting Room, and doing a little experiment to see if we can get the 3 guys on the show, and then also incorporate our callers and our listeners and our viewers into the game, which I believe when Jack sees this thing after it unfolds, Jack Namer, that he is going to know that he's onto a hit. You think the language in the contract will change? There'll be an addendum once he sees and witnesses the thrill of the inaugural Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. What do you think, Lubie?
Man, I love the Trivia Challenge, but I think everything we do is up to snuff, and I think that's just a great addition to what we do each and every morning. Looking forward to that.
It'll be a lot of fun being on location with the Ion Channel people. Looking very much forward to that. And also getting back out to Gulfstream Park, Degenerate Friday. We will have our handicappers tomorrow, and also the Gambling Gourmet. Mike Mayo will join us on the program. Talks a lot of sports and also a lot of food and dining, as you hear from the various endorsements that he's doing on the program. Very hip to a lot of good places. Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet. And he did give me a lose my number situation where he gave me a horse. He did run second while I was at Keeneland. And he said, make sure you find a screen there with Delaware Park. And in the 7th race, this horse cannot lose. It is the pick of my lifetime, the game of my life. And sure enough, I unfortunately ran into a little bit of a traffic problem, or would have won by 10 lengths. But Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, on our Degenerate Friday show, and Jersey Kyle is going to join us as well. I don't know. Is this a little dicey, Lubie? I had a few philosophical thoughts while I was on my walk of life yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to go into this. Probably would have been a subject to absolutely stay away from. And it's a harmless subject. I certainly don't mean any harm in bringing it up or even telling you the story of what was going through my mind. But back in the day, I'm on a walk of life. So I'm somewhere around the Pompano Beach Pier on my way back of going about 4 miles every day, right? So I go down the beach. It's a beautiful walk when you're on the beach side there. And there's like a 6'10" black guy coming towards me. He looks like a very friendly guy. And I'm trying to go out of my way to be extra friendly to people and smile at people, which I've always done throughout my lifetime while walking and passing people. And it's very curious the kind of reaction that you get, because not everybody looks up, but some people appreciate it. But it wasn't uncommon when I was growing up in Brooklyn and on Long Island, that if you saw a really tall black guy as like a 6-foot Jewish guy, you would greet him not so much with a, hey, how you doing, but like with a double pump head fake.
Jeez.
Okay, so and I caught some flack from Evan Don't Mention My Name when I implied right away when we saw this rather tall young black man get on the airplane. I'm not trying to stereotype people in any kind of negative way. It's just a joke to me, and it's unfortunate that people are so sensitive about this sort of thing now. And a guy gets on the plane, and you're thinking had to be a UK recruit, right? Now, is that racist to imply that every tall black guy is a basketball player? No, I don't know that it is.
Maybe, but if you're in Kentucky, in that area, that's a very small city known for college basketball, it's not the worst idea.
He was the only black guy in the city. No, he wasn't. But all right, so now would you have thought? I mean, I was going to do the double head fake on this tall black gentleman that I came across, and then I thought, no, don't do it. I mean, just stay out of it, because because I mean, he might interpret that as some kind of racist, stereotypical gesture. Even though I would have just been fooling around, thinking, hey, I wouldn't want this guy on the court blocking my shot. You know what I mean? Yes. But would it be the implication that all tall black guys must be basketball players because that's all they can do? That struck me, and I'm thinking, wow, how odd is it that you have to almost put
all this thinking.
parentheticals around everything you say? Everything.
I love that you did all that thinking.
Well, I also was thinking that these guys on bicycles, what a bunch of schmucks you are. Who the hell do you think you are? Bernardi, no? This is not the Tour de France. You're not climbing the Pyrenees here. And, they have the gear and everything, but they're just obnoxious in thinking that they absolutely own not only the street and the bike path, but the sidewalk as well.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Where do you find that many people to get together to ride bicycles, too? Doesn't that
I
seem a
was
little
gonna say, they're always
silly?
like a group. It's like a horde. And they have this look of anger. It's like, dude, aren't you supposed to be having fun? Like, relax.
I'm waiting to see Floyd Landis getting juiced up at the foot of the steepest mountain run. There with that, was that an Asian doctor that they had that was juicing them up on the U.S. Cycling team? They were something else. They were really on the level. That was great. And, celebrity sightings. I mean, I saw a couple of celebrities yesterday as I was doing my walk. And I was thinking, and you were talking yesterday about Mary Hart being at the Dodger game. And Tony even wanted us to get Mary Hart on the show, which I thought was, not necessarily the greatest idea. But, she's a very, very lovely lady. I don't know. How the hell do we get a hold of Mary Hart? Who do you call?
I mean, I can find out.
Place a general call to a payphone in Los Angeles and hope she picks it up? Come on.
What's the
Tony, how are
connection?
we going to find her? You actually trying to do a little research on that, thinking he was serious.
I don't know.
Like I said, Jim Ray Hart would have been a better guest. Celebrity sightings in L.A. are nothing, right? I mean, it's like seeing a 7-Eleven here, passing a celebrity in Los Angeles. So it's no big deal to have Mary Hart sitting there right behind the home plate at those Dodger games with her hopes and dreams crushed like a grape because the Braves are looking like a better team. All right, we're coming back. Scoop Skolnick on the opening night for the Heat and the season prospectus. I think he's very optimistic. Ethan Scoop Skolnick, 5 Reasons Sports Network here on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. I'm Jeff DeForest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Back with the scoop in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:31. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. On the local scene, the Heat, of course, making changes. I read a very encouraging article about the Heat's prospects. Not to win the championship so much, but to at least be a very, very big factor in the Eastern Conference, Mike Lubie. You'll be happy to note that somebody actually agreed with your opinion.
A lot of people said that. They have an interesting team, and like you said, they're the toughest team in the NBA. You wouldn't want to meet this team down an alley.
No, I mean, this a team that's going to treat everybody the way Tyson treated Mitch Blood Green if they meet in an alley.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Morning once again, everybody. Glad to have you with us here on this fine Thursday. Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. And also, you can catch our act on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And there's a parallel here, and it's going to be great to have this gentleman on the program for the first time since we relaunched here with this new format, new platform. As wow, desperation, we mentioned this earlier, is the mother of invention sometimes. I'm not sure that Scoop Skolnick was desperate when he started 5 Reasons Sports Network, but it had to be getting close. Welcome to the show, Ethan Scoop Skolnick. Of course, we got fired, and that's how we created these jobs. So far, so good. And it worked out well for Scoop Skolnick. 5 Reasons, a gigantic, mega success here in town with its local coverage. Ethan, how are you, my friend?
Good. Yeah, no, desperation definitely is the mother of invention, father of invention, all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, no, but it worked out. People are starting to find you because, I mean, you never go anywhere, though, man. Like, everybody goes.
You always resurrect yourself.
Like the pandemic. Yeah, exactly. It just never seems to go, hey, Dr. Fauci, when are we going to be done? Scoop, of course, you personally are very Heat-centric in your coverage. I don't think anybody it's between you and Winderman. I mean, who has more insight, more in-depth knowledge, more internal knowledge about the Miami Heat's workings and enterprise here in town. And you guys used to go toe-to-toe together. I don't know if you're still doing that. But always respect your analysis on the Heat. I'm going to start, though, with a question that's been plaguing me for a while now. And that is simply this. I mean, how much loyalty does Pat Riley owe UD for not going to Dallas? How is this man on the roster as a player? As a player, just give him money and say, hey, be an advisor, something.
You're going to be asking me the same question in 10 years. Defo, I think there's a confluence of factors here. There obviously was great loyalty to Udonis just generally, but also, there was the understanding that he made sacrifices throughout his career. I feel like those have probably been at this stage, remedied in that sense. But, also, NBA rosters are bigger than they used to be. The Heat aren't using all of theirs because they don't want to pay the luxury tax. And so they're trying to stay under it. But basically, there are 15 players on the roster now. There used to be at one point there were 12 or 13. There's 15 now, and also you get the two-way spots now, which gets you up to 17. So I don't think that they view whoever's gonna, whatever additional young player, or veteran that they would bring in at the back end of the roster would be more valuable to them than Udonis would be in his current capacity. And from his perspective, he just never wanted to be a coach. He doesn't like the designation. It's like he wants to be a player because I think he feels that as a player, he can be in there with the other players as one of them instead of somebody who, they feel there's a wall between, them and him. And so I think, look, is it going to go on against next year? I mean, I said 2 years ago, I thought, he was probably going to go do other things. But the thing about Udonis is he doesn't need to do this. Like, he's done very, very well in his career, and then he's done very well in his I call it his post career, even though technically his career is still going on. But I mean, he runs the subways and all that other sort of stuff. So he doesn't have to do this. But again, they don't view it like anybody else. I mean, was Mo Harkless more valuable to them last year than Udonis has them? Probably not. And the reality is, Defo, like, the best 3 minutes of the season were the 3 minutes he played. I mean, that's about the season last year, but that was the most fun that anybody had. It's like the only thing I remember from last year is Udonis going at Dwight Howard. Like, that's it. Okay, 3 minutes, and he's perfect 1,000% from the field. Okay, he's the most efficient shooter in the NBA last year. I mean,
led the league in shooting. Yeah,
still
minimum number of shots.
Yeah, he led the league in shooting. So I mean, you got to bring that guy back, right?
I'm with you, but I'm just wondering. I remember he had like a $35 million deal on the table and didn't go and signed here for a lot less money. And I'm figuring, wow, that's great. Pat Riley, a man of his word. Everybody said he was cutthroat and cold-hearted, but certainly has a love for UD. Lubie's got one for you with Scoop Skolnick here. I mean, he is salivating at the prospect of opening night tonight.
We are here on inchannel.com/the-Defo-show. Also, defoandlubie.com/live. But also, each and every day in the afternoon, you can check us out, 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. This man himself at 5 Reasons Sports, number 5, and at Ethan J. Skolnick on Twitter. He's a great follow. Talking about Twitter, the thing I got throughout the entire preseason were 2 things. Tyler Hero's stronger. He's more aggressive. You yourself said he's going to lead the team in scoring. He looked more humbled and more well-rounded. And Kyle Lowry, even in short minutes, has already shown what he's going to do for this team. What did you see in the preseason, and how much do you think that translates to the regular season?
I mean, I think both of those things obviously were significant. You know, from Tyler's perspective, I think some of it is the physical strength, which will be helpful to him. But I think some of it is just clarifying his role. I think that last year, again, I think he was affected probably more than anybody else by the short break. And it's crazy to say that because he's the youngest guy on the roster, but it was, if you think of what he went through as a rookie, I mean, he never played anywhere near that many games before. It was highly emotional. He's playing like high leverage playoff games as a rookie, and he's playing down the stretch of them. He hit the wall a little bit in the finals that year, but we know what he did against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
And you know, and then he comes back, and you know, they made him a starter for a brief period of time. They kind of changed what it was that he was doing from the last year. And then you add in, you know, some of the off-court stuff that, you know, is pretty normal for a 21-year-old in the modern.
Women weaken legs.
You know, yeah. I mean, so it's like, so yeah, exactly. So it's like, I just think all those things kind of came together, and it just made for not a bad season. I mean, people statistically, on a per minute basis, he's pretty much the same player he was the previous year. It was just that he didn't shoot the ball well from 3. But I just think his head is cleared now. Like, I think that is as important as what he's done with his body. As far as Kyle goes, I mean, you know, and I've asked both Bo and Pat this because obviously they were very familiar with the Tim Hardaway era. Yeah. You know, this is really the purest point guard they've had since Tim. I mean, you know, Jason Williams had that brief stint here, but they had kind of changed Jason Williams' game so much when he came here that he really wasn't even recognizable as a player. I mean, Kyle's just going to be who Kyle has always been, and I think you can see it. Not so much in what he's going to provide from a scoring perspective. It seems like that's kind of his last option these days. But it's just it's him getting the ball to guys in the right spots. It's him forcing the pace. I just think that is going to be what's so significant for him this year. He is going to make Bam much better, and that you know is the thing I identified when they signed him. That this was really ultimately about. He is going to force Bam to be aggressive. When the ball comes out from Bam, it's going to go back into Bam. Okay, nice. He's not going to be able to just sort of drift during games like he does sometimes because he's doing a million other things. He's going to be forced to score, and Riley spoke to that too. He said, "You know, I think you're going to see a pure scorer this year." I think a lot of that is going to be from Kyle pushing that out of Bam because it's in there. Okay, I don't think anybody questions Bam's talent, his work ethic, or any of that sort of stuff. And he can be a face of a franchise. I think there for a lot of different reasons, but it's just the aggressiveness. He's never been, we've talked about this before, he's never been the lead guy on his team at any level. Okay. AAU, Kentucky, first few years with the Heat. And so it's a different experience when you have to be an alpha. And I think that Kyle's going to help them a lot with that.
And also boding very well for the futures of Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero is that Lubie thought they were horrendous draft picks and reaches.
I saw your face.
When they were selected out of the University of Kentucky. He had not seen 1 second of either guy playing and deemed them to be the worst picks, although he did love Justice Winslow over Devin Booker.
Exactly.
So you understand what that's all about. All right, Ethan, this is another aspect of the Heat that I find fascinating, and it's very Pat Riley-esque, and it goes back to his days with the New York Knicks when they used to make the Knicks pass through metal detectors before they were concerned about players having weapons in the locker room, just to enter the arena because they were inclined to using foreign objects. But you have Tucker comes here, of course, a real tough guy. Morris, he's not afraid to just drop the gloves at any time. And the Heat figure to be very tough defensively. In fact, never mind Tim Donovan, the longtime publicist and confidant there of Pat Riley. They came just short of signing Ray Donovan to spearhead their defense. Is this going to be a key component and a big factor of Heat play this year?
Yeah, Ray Donovan's on a 2-way contract.
You bring out the bat. I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, when Riley came out and said we were looking for guys who were medieval with accents,
they're going to be jousting at halftime. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no doubt. I do think that this is, and I think this is why he seemed so upbeat the other day during his press conference. I think this is probably the most Pat Riley type team that they've had since probably the 2006 championship team. And he actually spoke to that where he said, in 2005, and I felt like he was speaking right to me because I was one of the people who didn't like the changes. I wrote a column about it for Sun Sentinel. I didn't like the changes they made in the 2005 offseason. After Dwayne and Shaq had taken into the Eastern Conference Finals and Dwayne got hurt, I thought that team could have won a title if they just came back. And Pat decided to change the whole script. I mean, he basically dealt 5 guys to 5 guys. He brought in James Posey and Kerry Payton and Antoine Walker and Jason Williams, and some of us are like, what the hell is this going to be? Like, they're going to fight with each other. Forget the core. And they did. The reality is they did, and Stan kind of lost his job in part over that. But then they won a championship. And so I think he just looked at last year's team, and it wasn't so much a talent thing. I think he identified, just that they were burnt out, and they just didn't have the mental, physical fortitude by the end to kind of make it a series against Milwaukee. So I think he made his priority toughness, physical toughness, mental toughness, that they're going to be that kind of team. We've had a lot of people on our podcast, and we haven't found anybody from around the country who does not think they're going to be a top 5 defensive team. I think that's almost taken for granted. I think the question with this team is going to be, are they going to consistently score? And I think they will be pretty decent offensively. I think they'll be a little middle of the pack, maybe slightly better than that. But there are going to be some nights where it's going to be a little ugly. They don't, Tyler's really the closest thing they have to, what I guess these days they call a 3-level scorer. I mean, they don't, unless Oladipo can come back, very close to what he used to be, they're kind of missing that element. It's not a roster with a lot of athleticism. Bam is probably the only elite, when we think of athlete on the team. I mean, Jimmy is a little bit of a grounded player. Kyle is a grounded player. But Bam is the one guy who I think has that ability. But they don't have a lot of high flyers in the team. They don't. So they're going to have to be really sound defensively. I refer to them. They're not a vertical team. They're a horizontal team. They have a lot of guys who take up space. And I feel like they're going to be a very difficult opponent to play for that reason.
Ethan Scoop Skolnick, always on his game when it comes to analysis of the Miami Heat. You can catch his work. Well, he runs a show there at 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Big.
And we're very happy to be affiliated with Scoop Skolnick and 5 Reasons because it's gained immense popularity in a relatively short period of time. And it proves, as we are trying to do right here on Ion Channel, that you can do it on your own. You're like Tyson Fury. I mean, you and I, Scoop Skolnick, they can knock you down in the middle rounds, but you know what? You're going to get up and flatten a guy in the end.
That's right. That's right. And if I keep eating the way I'm eating these days, I'll end up 290 pounds like Tyson Fury. Too. So there you go. It's harder in your old age, especially if you and I end up at that seafood place again. Then for sure, with all the fried stuff I was going to eat there, that's no doubt about it. But yeah, no, it's good. We're doing well over here, and obviously we're happy to have you. And we're going to do more and more as we go forward. So no, it's going to be a good thing. I mean, you mentioned the heat season is kind of our thing. We try. We try. We have my football guys are always like, you're always giving all attention to the heat. I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, let's push the Dolphins and the Hurricanes. And so we do pregame shows and postgame shows and midweek shows and podcasts and stuff on our website. And then it's like you're through week 5 and it's like which coach is getting fired first every year. I mean, it's just a pattern, and it does I think make you appreciate, for those who don't, what Pat Riley and the Heat have done here. I mean, to be consistently competitive is not easy. And it's pretty much been the case now for 25 years. I mean, there's a couple of down years in there, obviously. But when you're missing the playoffs 6 times in 25 years, I mean, there's always hope, right? So, and just, we know with the football franchises in town, there's never hope, unfortunately. So that's why we trend towards the Heat in our place.
He had that old bounce in his step. He had that swagger again. It looked like he'd been jumping a rope before he got into the press conference there to talk about this team, because they're going to slug it out, Ethan Skolnick. You're going to see a lot of blood. Make sure you put a cover over that drink, that soft drink you have there on the front row, because you want that blood to not fly into that little cup, because it's going to be a bloodbath out there with the Miami Heat this year, and should be a heck of a lot of fun. Scoop, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
All right, thanks, guys. And of course, we can catch this show. You may be catching it now on our YouTube channel. So these guys will be there every single weekday.
Thanks, Scoop.
You got to go on your own network. It's great. A guest appearance on his own network. I mean, that's kind of unique in the business. All right, we're going to come back and wrap things up on this Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll be out at Hialeah Park. At least so we hope. I think it's going to happen, Lubie. What do you think? Do you have confidence in the system here at this point?
I can pretend.
This would be me. It would involve me schlepping this stuff out on the road and figuring out how to set it up and then get everybody in the shot.
Yeah, it's gonna work so great. So
confident. We need to get back. Get back into the game here. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. So that'll be next Thursday. Tomorrow, of course, a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday right here on the program, and our handicappers were on fire before the plug was pulled. So they've had a month off, and I would imagine most of them have continued to have success. We know the professor says he's crushing it. College football, and Mark Lawrence was off to just an amazing start with both college and pro games. So we'll have their selections tomorrow. Jersey Kyle will join us, and the Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo, with us here on the ION channel and IONchannel.com. I'm Jeff DeForest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz, back to finish things off on this Thursday. Gone by very quickly for us here. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. In a moment, now that.
The time.
8:52.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half, Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Mark Henry, who is a Hall of Famer from the WWE, but also has many great distinctions. This gentleman holds world records that perhaps will never be broken. Mark, you really think those Russians were juicing in the Olympic Games? They had women that were bigger than you.
I just want to ask you this question. Is pig pork?
Answers
I'm with you, Mark Henry. I mean, we've had our suspicions going all the way back to when I first saw Tamara Press in the 50s.
Enjoy your trip to work with lots of laughs thanks to Defo and Lubie. Now on the Defo Show.
It probably wouldn't be so unusual today, but I do have my recollections of the great, I believe she was a shot putter. I don't know if she was a weightlifter. Tamara Press in the 50s. It was the first time I saw a woman. You couldn't have characterized this at the time as this type of beard, but she had like a ZZ Top beard that went all the way down to the floor. And she was competing against these other rather waif-like women by comparison here. And you're thinking, this woman must eat well. It turns out they were onto something long before Victor Conti was injecting Barry Bonds. The Russians were on top of this game. They had the Sputniks out there, all kinds of great stuff. Now, I did want to mention this. We'll delve into the obscure here. We're not afraid to do that, and often mentioned here on this program, especially. And I remember we ran this name by the great Jim Larinaga, the head coach of the University of Miami basketball team. And I mentioned because he had coached at Bowling Green, what was the legend of Butch Comives, who at one time was my favorite and yet at the same time disappointing New York Knicks. And this was a left-handed shooter out of Bowling Green. He had led the country in scoring at Bowling Green, Lubie, Butch Comives, but played a poor second fiddle to the great Dick Barnett in the backcourt of some Knick teams that were average at best. It wasn't until, and he's part of a great trivia question, speaking of the Trivia Challenge, who was shipped as part of the deal to the Detroit Pistons when the Knicks acquired Dave DeBusschere, which was a cornerstone move in their franchise's history. And part of that answer, I believe, was Walt Bells Bellamy and Butch Comives. But Comives finally getting the recognition he deserved. The New York Post, my favorite publication other than the Daily Racing Form, had, because the NBA is honoring its top 75 all-time players with the 75th anniversary of the NBA, Lubie. Are you following that?
Yes.
Top 75 players. So the Knicks, the Post had a thing about the Knicks top 75 all-time players, and guess who was number 74? One Howard Butch Comives.
Really?
There you go.
Good for you. Nice.
So finally getting the honor and the esteem and the acclaim and the recognition that he so richly deserved for averaging like 6 points a game, even though he had led the nation in scoring the previous year on the college level. All right, that's going to do it for us. Catch us tomorrow, Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. It's up there all day, so if you missed any part of the program or you're not up at 7 o'clock in the morning, You can just pop on that, and it comes up very easily. Lubie, great job today. We'll do
Thanks,
it again
sir.
tomorrow. Hey, Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Going to be right here in our same studio setup, but I'm hoping next week be out at Gulfstream Park, following right in the aftermath. That's racetrack to racetrack for us, which is a situation we always dig. We will see you tomorrow at 7 in the a.m. with our Degenerate Friday. Have our handicappers on there and the Gambling Gourmet, Mike Mayo. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Joe DeForest, Jack Namer, and all the good people at Ion Channel. Brad and the entire crew there, Amy, they do a great job. Miguel came over here, was a tremendous assistance. We appreciate all of their efforts. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 as we leave you know that. How about it's like 9 o'clock Eastern?
Let's go eat a damn snack.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time? When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not. Because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around